Welcome to My Long Island TV. From Manhasset to Montauk, we have traveled our communities to bring you the following events. I'm your host, Waldo Cabrera. My Long Island TV starts now. Hi, I'm Waldo Cabrera. I'm here with Congressman Pete King. He represents New York's 2nd Congressional District. Thank you for taking time out.
Great to be here. Thank you.
You've been representing Long Islanders since 1993.
Right.
That's a long time. What is it about you that the voters keep bringing you back in?
I would like to think it's they know that I'm independent, that I fight hard for this region, and whether it's like getting the Sandy relief money, which we desperately needed, fighting for homeland security funding, and just being attentive to local needs. Right now we have the immigration issue, which is really going to be hurting our school districts as far as having extra kids come in and the schools not having the money, whether it's the war against terrorism, which has, unfortunately, New York and Long Island are the #1 targets in the whole world. So it's, I would think it's that constant dedication, the fact that I am from this area, I'm home all the time, I'm not a vacation guy, I don't live in Washington. You put it all together, and hopefully it'll keep going for a while.
You brought up Sandy. There are some families that are still not back home.
Absolutely.
What is the explanation why 2 years later they still can't get into their house?
Basically, it's been unfortunately longer than it should be. Having said that, I have people in my office working almost full time, trying to work with the constituents who have not gotten back in their homes, having problems with the banks, problems with the insurance companies, problems with New York Rising, problems with FEMA. You go through the whole list, and one by one, progress is being made. But if I was the one who was not in my house, I wouldn't be happy.
There were some congressmen and some of your colleagues that voted no. They voted not to provide the FEMA money to Long Island. Some of those were the same ones that received dollars for their environmental disaster.
Right.
Once they give you a no vote, what is the relationship?
Yeah, it did become personal. I mean, he said in Congress 22 years. I remember being there for a number of disasters, but especially Katrina back in 2005. Within 10 days, 11 days, we had voted $65 billion for Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Texas, all those states were hit by Katrina. $65 billion, and it was done because we felt we had to do it. It was our obligation. With New York and New Jersey, when it came time for Sandy, it happened basically on the Halloween weekend, and then we were still into mid-January before they would even allow a vote on it. No, I would say that it was a turning point for me. You tried not to make it personal, but I do. And I just look at people a lot differently since then, and I realize we cannot take anything ever for granted. That New York, other parts of the country, love to come to New York to raise money for their campaigns. They love to attack New York in their own campaigns. But it was always felt that when we needed help, they'd be there for us because we were always there for them. No, they're not. So it's really been a line of demarcation for me.
On to jobs and the local economy. What can be done to get better quality jobs here to Long Island?
Yeah, well, first of all, you have the people who work in New York City, and that's important to rebuild and get financial services jobs going back. That's the New York City part of the Long Island economy. From what I feel I can do from Washington is to try to find tax relief for corporations. Really, we should be cutting the corporate tax rate. Now, people say, "Oh, you're trying to take care of big corporations." No, I want to make us competitive with the rest of the world, and also the rest of the country, but especially the rest of the world, to try to bring those businesses and keep those businesses here on Long Island. Also with the defense industry. Again, so much of the defense industry has moved off Long Island. There's still, though, a number of contractors here on the island. We try to work to make sure that they get their fair share of defense contracts.
In Brentwood, Central Islip, and Bayshore, you have a large Hispanic population that you represent, the majority of them from Central America.
Right.
What are you telling them is the right thing to do with those unattended children that are coming to our borders? Several
things. There's like an immediate crisis, if you will, with the school districts. They are at their maximum right now as far as class size, as far as their budget limitations. And now, in addition to that, there's at least 130 of these unaccompanied kids are going to be in that school district because of federal regulations. I don't know how they're going to afford that. And I have no problem with the kids coming in, but if they're being put there by the federal government should be paying part of that. So anyway, Steve Israel and I will be, we just introduced legislation this week which will provide for reimbursement. Now, whether that'll get through in these tough budget times, I don't know.
Congressman Peter King, representing New York's 2nd Congressional District. It's a pleasure speaking to you.
Thank you, appreciate it. Thank you. Good seeing you again.